We think that our galaxy is unlimited, unending, and astronomically large nonetheless. Can you consider if this universe actually a minor and irrelevant? What if everything you have ever known will be aware that it is subatomic from nothing to something else? Greatly, what if the entire universe is an atom? Hello and welcome to KYC News. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. In today's video, let's discover the more than 90% of the visible universe billions of light years away. The invisible universe is much bigger overall. The cosmos is almost infinitely large. Impossible to comprehend, although some angles, and in certain religious beliefs it all be so insignificant at this point. Computation indicates that the unobserved cosmic systems may have up to 20 trillion light years in diameter. However, years a stunning distance, while up to 20 trillion miles away light years are enormous for the most part. Most likely empty, therefore we can fairly infer this from what we are aware of the universe as it can be seen, is that it is uniform throughout, but also that is observed directions. Most things are rare in our view. All things, even so, is nothing, thus this observable phenomena do not merely occur. There is more to it than just being there. You may learn this from any physics textbook. Atoms are the tiny building blocks of matter, the components that comprise everything, and due to their existence, and because atoms, even the most potent of our optical weapons microscopes, cannot detect them, but we do limited knowledge about their exterior appearance. Anticipated scientific diagrams. Nevertheless, careful science has demonstrated that atoms are formed and that they exist composed of subatomic particles such as quarks, protons, neutrons, electrons. And for instance, we now understand what atoms are. There are so few and many that the average adult human includes 77 with 27 zeros out of octillion after that. It's great, so that according to certain ideas, everything individually, wherever our everything, both visible and invisible, the universe might be an atom in and of itself. The one electron theory is one such idea. According to the theory of the universe, what we refer to electrons as the end product of a solitary particle together with that particle, that one electron moving indefinitely back and forth across history, so we notice it quickly and in numerous ways. Carefully sculpting and modeling our unexpectedly, the complete reality is there. Is little evidence in the scientific community for this specific idea, but it is a starting point, and there are additional similar concepts that have increased support throughout time. Most people believe that while all matters, atoms, electrons, and properties as they currently exist all equal the difference between two atoms of one type. Origins in a far wider universe. The multiverse theory is a concept that writers of science fiction and filmmakers often investigated. Everything we are aware that may fit on the points of another thing, that our universe is not much more than a dust mote on a higher realm of reality, where we can retreat and believe that all of the particles that make up our bodies contain the entirety of other existences. They find it to be a bizarre idea that once again is founded on the idea of beyond serving as the foundation. Infinite of the slogan used by Buzz Lightyear. The size of infinity is enormous concept to try and understand. However, if adopting the multiverse concept understood to mean that despite of the size of the universe, the size of the universe may be endless, putting us in comparison with everything in the larger universe, subatomic particles. And if we turn to the side, we can see that at least the universe as it is now already aware of how it functions in every single smallest subatomic mixed particles from bigger and until we reach the largest object. Larger stuff, celestial bodies, and the most recognized complex species, huge stars. A far-off galaxy has tall buildings and city in motion, or even at lunch use the meal you had for lunch today. Similar building components, so why limit? Simply the most crucial part of us. Why not elaborate on what we already know, extend more and further till even the cosmos is merely a component of something greater? Is this blending between the micro and large scales are incompatible? Until we have a full, utter rejection, every detail explained by a hypothesis reunites classical and quantum physics and ultimately explains reality based on the generally acknowledged narrative of its beginning, is what most often started as an improbably small and dense singularity before energy expands and the Big Bang created life, thus everything once, what we knew to be impossible. Of course, the crucial difference is small. The original Big Bang can be seen here. Singularity's influence would have contained all necessary equipment for the atoms that are currently understood. How insignificant it may have been even at this point, we cannot claim that the universe is an atom, sure. String theory, singularity is not an atom. One of the more well-known candidates for a theory of all that we presently know may get us the closest to grasping the true extent of life. There are different models, but the main notion is that atoms are not the spherical items we frequently represent them as, rather they are string-like items that vibrate, and it's the interactions between these vibrating threads that elucidate all of the physics principles, quantum mechanics as a whole, gravitation. Alternatively, there is shebang. String theory has faced a number of problems, one of which, having dark energy, is a problem unlike commonly observed matter. The material that string theory aims to explain barely makes up 5% of the total. Dark energy accounts for the cosmos. 68%, and the majority of string theory models are unable to provide an explanation for this. Recently, there have been various attempts. Dark energy to be incorporated into string one theory that might turn to the opening query of today's film on once at its helm. A group from Sweden's Uppsala University provided information about late last year, a novel string theory version 2018, the year that our universe exists. Border of a bubble that is constantly expanding. Although most concepts of string theory do higher dimensions that go beyond the we now understand three spatial, and only once here, we learn that all. We thought we knew all that may be seen on the membrane of who knows, something much, much greater. What's happening both within and outside of how many dimensions they have a bubble. Unknowns may be responsible. However, the idea asserts that dark forces have invaded our existence with energy from the larger bubble universe could eventually, regardless of the implications, for there is yet another view of truth that could make us look bad, little component of something considerably larger. Something greater than we can possibly imagine, comprehend, in this instance using people functioning as just a small part of a single little cosmos at the edge of a bubble that might be a portion of something even bigger in the broad scale of things. We essentially are a proton. Would we expect a quark or an electron to understand that it is a proton, little portion of a sports automobile, if one exists, could understand, or an atom to think the fact that it is a tiny portion of a one grass blade is plainly not, but we'd be in the same confusing situation. Circumstance, cosmic forms mimic people. There are several patterns that exist for forms. Cannot be disregarded when it comes to the composition and conduct of subatomic particles, cells, and tissues, as well as the heavenly bodies in our solar system, planets in the system. When you compare in the known universe as seen in a photograph, they examine the neurons in the human brain. Similar to the biggest known, the cosmic formations are massive galaxy clusters connected to each other in voids between them that reflect each other. How neurons are organized and how they biological pathways in the human brain. Eyes and pictures of cosmic nebulas that were observed through a telescope like the Helix Nebula, for example. Details of the human eyeballs, including like the iris galaxy's spiral shapes, since many galaxies are spiral shaped. The stars are revolving around the galactic cores. Some seashells and snail shells have a spiral shape. Is this just a coincidence? Likely not. They might be observing the similar pattern to galaxies, on the order of there are a microcosm and a macrocosm. There are many atoms in all known matter. Along with galaxies, there exist numerous stars, having planets orbiting them. In addition to the atomic world structures, and the galaxy appears the same, yet the same principles of physics apply to simply that the scales are different, various dimensions. I questioned whether this what spiritualists meant when they said given that they appear to have a dimension, the same moment. But in several locations this may also apply to the notion that perhaps there are alternative universes. Although there are universes within universes, the structure is reduced in size. is nearly identical. There are parallels between the brain structure and combined with how the cosmos works, even in the smallest spaces. C is constructed components of the design, such as the distance between neurons, as well as the separation. These similarities between galaxy clusters can be everywhere in great numbers. Humans have a lot of atoms and electrons. People on Earth sell stars in the galaxies and a larger field of view scale. I'm interested to see where this goes. There might be several universes. I'm confident that eventually is our only tiny atom in a vast universe, the solar system. Brain theoretically, that might be true, and humanity might not pick up the only truth we will know up to the future generally understood is that there are many parallels between the human brain's anatomy and the structure of the universe as we can see it. This is accurate, and the universe is vast. That would suggest that the cosmos is a brain. Is just one part of an intelligent due to the fact that we are unsure and can only hope to ultimately learn in the future if this is how the universe was created, in which it would definitely break nearly all of our thoughts. Or even supposing we knew that, we would be terribly misinformed about science on nearly all levels of the human understanding would never fully rehabilitate. The revelation would then be the case. Crises of existence and the rush to learn something new, extraterrestrial realities, guiding principles. It's fortunate that this is just a theory. Using a thinking exercise is a fun approach to consider everything and be grateful for our in the cosmos. For sure, our information restrictions may apply, and we, despite the possibility of biased perspectives, this was of subatomic importance in the bigger picture. Why should it actually matter? Now that we're here, let's making the most of it. Essentially, this video comes to an end. Folks, what are your thoughts after viewing this strange theory about our describe the universe to us? In the comments, please subscribe to this by doing so below. Channel that will sound a bell when you. I hope you appreciate the videos we upload. Some amazing content that you will like. I'm sure you'll like clicking like on this. Watch the video and then make a remark.